Hi, welcome back to Harley's 2. My name is Preston, and today we're going to be looking at the differences between maybe a $1,000 coat and a $100 coat, and why quality is not always as expensive as you think. So, let's take a look at some coats. First, if something's made cheap, it's also made quick. And what's quicker than just taking the measurements of a mannequin? Now, it may look pretty proportionate to the human body, but what you don't know is this is a 38 chest and a 38 waist. Just to give a little bit of background, a 38 coat will go with a 32 pant. So you can already see the disproportions of this fit. The fit of a nice coat is much more intricate. They will fit most coats to really be proportionate to a body type. And John Cooper is out of London, and so these tailors architecturally design their coats based on the body, where the shoulders point and where the waist will come down and then flare out at the hips. Really, they focus on creating more of an art piece rather than just a piece of cloth to wear. Next, I want to look at fabric. So the makeup of the coat is very important. If it's mostly wool or cotton, that's usually a good sign. But even these can be woven poorly. You can even have a 100% wool suit that just looks terrible. So first you want to feel it and kind of feel the texture. Is it a softer texture, or is it very stale and rigid? You can also see just how the coat bends and folds and flows. A cheap suit will be very rigid, and it'll look okay when it's perfectly still. But as soon as you put it on, you start to move, you realize how restricting a cheap suit actually is. Our next point is going to be attention to detail. Now for this, we'll have to move a bit closer. So you can tell on this coat, out in the stitching, you can see how all the stitches are just perfect. And even the pattern is unique and bold, and something you don't find on every coat. Now, something to also look out for, if the coat has a mill attached to it, that will usually be a second brand that is not labeled on the coat. For instance, this is a Luigi Bianchi coat, but the mill where the fabrics come from are Vitale Barberis Canonico. Now, this company, this mill, is over 300 years old, family owned and operated out of Italy, and basically they will partner up with companies like Luigi Bianchi, and they will give them fabrics that are made to perfection, where the tailors at Luigi Bianchi can come together, use those fabrics, and then make the perfect coat. Lastly, we're going to look at buttons. Now, this coat is already pretty unique, as seeing it is completely unlined and unstructured, making it a soft coat that's perfect for summers. But let's take a closer look at these buttons. So these are especially unique as they have the insignia of the company Robert Talbot. But you can even check this coat sleeve. Now, this one only has one button, which makes it unique, but not necessarily special. The special fact is this button works. That's already a huge step in showing that the manufacturer really cared about making this coat unique. And you may be wondering, what are these threads? Well, this makes it easier for if you need to lengthen or shorten the coat sleeve. Now, this process will make the coat appear perfect on your arm to give it that much more of a tailored look, and to make this coat look like it was especially made just for you. So after all of that, you may be saying, well, that's great and all, but I think I'm just going to buy a $200 coat from one of the big corporations instead. They're just a lot cheaper, and that's just what I need. Well, let me show you how you're wrong. So those coats are $200 for a reason, or you may see those ads, buy one, get two free, and this is all because you get very little use out of those. You'll wear them a few times and it'll start to show. Whereas our coats are going to last you years and multiple wears. But if you don't believe me, let's do some math. Let's say that $200 coat, you get it 8 wears and it already starts to show. You can see threading, you can see discoloration, or in some cases the suit will even bubble. Whereas our coats are going to, let's just say 45 wears, which is already on the low end. Every time you put on that first coat, it costs you over $20. Whereas every time you put on one of our coats, it may have only costed you $17. And again, this is on the very low end. Sometimes the coats outlive the person. So you may consider this next time you're buying a coat. Speaking of, all of our coats here are half off. So you're not spending as much up front. You're spending half of what you should be paying. And all of these coats are available online at harleys2texas.com or in store. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, whatever your social media platform is.